Shalom, shalom, Israel. What's going on? Priest and officer of 1,000, Yahweh Thumb. We're going to be getting started here in a couple minutes. If you got any questions or comments, put them in the chat. I'll get to them in a second. All right, let's clap it up. Most High Christ. Shalom, shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible, history, archaeology, and anything else you may need. And today's class is the biblical law class. And today I'm going to be getting into something a little interesting. This book right here. A lot of people have heard of it, but they really don't understand it. It's called the Willie Lynch Letters in the Making of a Slave. I read this book, and it's not that big, as you can see. It's not that big. But the little bit of information that's in this book, because it is just a letter, of course, is powerful. If you understand the truth and you understand the way the world is today, it's a lot of powerful information in this book, man. And we're going to get into it probably this weekend, next week, depending on how it goes. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want people to understand is this truth is vital for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. As we get into this letter, you'll realize and see it even more. But this truth is vital for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And every day, not only do I realize it, but I see it. The way this world is going, the way our people are going, it's vital. So, like, give me 1 second. Yeah, man, this thing is vital. when I was reading this book or this letter, so to speak, it was mind blowing. Like, yeah, we just going to get into it. So first I want to start off with John 8:32. Scripture I'm sure a lot of people have heard, but Lord will, by the end of this class, you understand how important and vital it is. John 8:32. John 8:32, and it reads, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." John 8:32 says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." When you truly understand this truth and you start living by this truth, when you read this, there's only one way you can interpret this. You realize that the ISUPK is the answer to reversing the plague, the disease that he set forth on our people. Like a lot of things you see our people taking part of today, whether it's proud, independent women, effeminate men, all that type stuff, right here. Black on black violence, us hating each other, men against women. Women don't need a man. When they saying they don't need a man, what the woman really saying is she don't need a black man. She don't need a black man. But why she's saying that is because she has so much faith and trust in the white man. I know she doesn't realize that's what she's saying, but that's what she's saying, because she doesn't need a black man because she can always call 911, which is ran by the white man. She doesn't need a black man because she can always trust or rely on the government of the white man. She doesn't need a black man because guess what? She can always go get an education out of a college ran by and accredited by the white man. So what she really saying is, I don't need no black man because I have more faith in the white man. And that all started here. There was a time where they couldn't even begin to get our people to think that way. Our sisters would have rather died than to think that way. In today's world, I'm almost certain a lot of sisters would rather die before they even ever trust 110% in the black. So we're going to get into it. First thing you got to understand, man, is the Lord wanted us separate. From the very beginning, the Lord wanted us separate. Even starting with what? Father Abraham. Listen to what he told him. You understand? Salakia. That's what I want. The Lord has always wanted separation. Where I don't know where people get. The Lord wants all of us to be together like this melting pot, and every nation come together and kumbaya and love each other, this, that, and the third. That's not biblical. That's not biblical at all. Nothing about that is biblical. You understand? And we got to get that out of our heads. So like my app was acting up on my phone, so that's why you always got to have a handy dandy right next to you. App can mess up, his word gonna come out one way or another. You understand? So let's get it. The book of Genesis. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 12. Quite certain that's what I want. Genesis chapter 12. Yes. So in the book of Genesis chapter 12, and it reads, like it here. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will shew thee. So there it is. The Lord has already created separation where? Between Abram and his family. He said, get thee out of thy country, get out of your homeland. Don't be comfortable. Get out of your homeland. That's what you got to understand when you come to serve the Lord. That's why he says, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Know for surety that temptation is sure to follow. Why does he say that? Because he has to get you out of that comfort zone. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Why? Because he's creating a new comfort zone in serving him. But you know what we fail to realize is America got us a comfort zone in not serving the Lord. America created us in a comfort zone of doing everything opposite of what the Lord wants, whether it's going to church on Sunday, eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, celebrating birthdays, celebrating all these holidays that the Lord never condoned. America has us comfortable in that. So the only way the Lord can truly get us to come serve him is, the first thing I'm gonna do is just make you uncomfortable. I got to. This is gonna be the quickest, most straight, raw, easiest way we can get you to serve the Lord. I'm gonna just get you uncomfortable. There is no way to pity pat. There is no soft way. There's no there. No, you got to come and do this thing. So starting off, it might be a little rough. It might hurt a little bit. It's gonna be uncomfortable. But that's just all that does is guarantee you and show you that you're on the right path to serving the Lord. You understand? And read again, 12, chapter 1. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, which we know became Father Abraham, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred. So get out of your homeland, away from your family, out of your and from thy father's house. Matter of fact, and out of your immediate family, unto a land that I will shew thee. So you're going to get away from everybody you love, your support system, everything you're comfortable with. You can get away from that. And then I'm going to take you to a lane you don't know, and I'm going to show you how to rock it out there. That's what the Lord is telling Abraham. Verse 2, and I will make of thee a great nation. That's what the Lord said he's going to do. He's going to make a great nation out of them. And that's who we are. We are that great nation. And by God, you don't even understand how great we truly are, man. Like I tell people all the time, the greatest athletes, the greatest men, the greatest women, the greatest cooks, the greatest dancers, greatest singers, greatest artists, greatest everything. You understand? Greatest inventors, greatest mathematicians, greatest actors, greatest actresses. We are the greatest everything. The Lord kept his word with Abraham. He made a great nation. It's time for us to live up to being that great nation, man. Like this right here, man. Oh my God. It hit my soul so hard. Like I just wanted to, man, we're going to get into it, man. So he says, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. So that's what the Lord promised him for essentially separating. That's what you got to understand. Separation is a part of this walk. You must separate. You cannot serve the Lord and it's not separate. You got to separate. You understand? Salaki, I'm about to try to do something here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Back in this thing. Most High in Christ. What's this? Okay, we should be good. Good. So yeah, let me get one more scripture for us, and then we're gonna open that Willie Lynch book. But I gotta show you that we must separate. We gotta separate. It's the only way. All right, Deuteronomy 32:8. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to get there. I'm about to try to, let's see if we can get it rocking over here on let's try to get it rocking on good Lord. TikTok. Get my TikTok family involved in this, man, because I think we need to get this word out here, man, for sure. Sure, TikTok rocking with us. So we're going, let me see. Most High in Christ. Hey, shalom. How about Shema Shabbat? What's going on, TikTok fam? We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street under commanding General Yohana. I'm Officer 1000 Yahweh Thumb, and today's class is on this right here, this Willie Lynch letter. How today our people, when I say our people, I mean Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we live this letter to this day. And this is why our communities fail so much and their communities are uplifted so high. So we're going to get into this. Right now, we're going to Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. So if you can follow along with me, we'll be going to Deuteronomy 32 verse 8. Let's see. Of course, if anybody got any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat, whether you're on TikTok or live here on Facebook or YouTube. We're rocking it out. Let's get it. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8. And it reads, matter of fact, let's start at verse 7. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7. It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee. See, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be remembering the days of old. People want us to act like, this was so long ago. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about that. You understand? Slavery. Why are you worried about slavery? You got the slave mentality. You got the oppressed mentality. I'm not going to let you have the oppressed mentality. Well, God said, remember the days of old. Ask your father, and he will tell you. You understand? That's who's going to tell you the truth. You can't look to another nation to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you their truth. You got to look towards your people, your forefathers, to tell you the truth. That's just the reality. And that's what God said. You understand? Like, it's crazy that another don't have a slave mentality, but this is the thing. I don't look at myself as oppressed. It's that me gaining a skill here in America, getting rich, filthy rich, and just buying whatever piece of land, lot, or whatever I want, balling out of control, and acting like that got something on what we had before their people got here. Because what you're telling me is gain a skill, and if that skill lives up to whatever the standard is for my oppressor, for my slave master, then I can become rich. Like if I'm a good enough painter to what he deems the standard, then I can become rich. If I'm a good enough artist, a good enough basketball player, whatever their standard is, then I can become rich in this, that, and the third. And this is the thing. When you make me rich, it's going to be good for this society, but it ain't got nothing before they stole our land. Ain't got nothing on that. So even if I become rich, I'm still not going to have or inherit what my forefathers had before the oppressor came over here, rape, robbing, and stealing, and killing, and feeding our babies to alligators. That's why no other nation can understand where we're coming from. It ain't us being crybabies. It's the reality. Even if I become a billionaire in today's society, I'm still not going to get what you stole from my forefathers. What you're saying is I can become rich and you'll give me a piece of what you stole from my forefathers. We ain't rocking with that no more. That's not a slave mentality. That's a reality mentality. You understand? Let's read these scriptures. Deuteronomy 32 verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. See, not of just a generation or two before, because that's what they remember. Martin Luther King did a lot of great things, and just think of Martin Luther King going up to now. He put in a lot of work. No, Martin Luther King, if y'all wouldn't have killed him, he even said in his last couple months living, he even said he made a mistake. Everything he was standing for before that, he made a mistake. He said, I fear that I led my people into a burning house. I'm paraphrasing. But what's that saying is all that joining with all that integration, joining with white people and trying to integrate into their businesses instead of keeping and building up our own businesses. That was the wrong mentality. That is why we failed today. It's because all we did was take our money and now we invest into them. And now today, most of us don't even know how to build up our own communities because we went with what he said, integration, loving everybody, this, that, and the third. Orgy Mike was horrible for us. You understand? So Deuteronomy 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. Verse 8. Listen up. When the Most High divided to the nation, the Lord has always divided. He has always separated. There was never a time where the Lord said, okay, I want everybody to come together and just be one big melting pot of love, incest, and LGBT, this, that, and that. The Lord never okayed that, because he knows one thing. When we come together with these other nations, we don't stick to the standard of the Lord. We go with whatever standard that nation is teaching. So here in America, you celebrating the 4th of July, this, that, and the third. Whatever they do in Russia, if you go over there, you're going to start celebrating and doing their customs. If you go to China, you try to partake of their customs. In today's world, you call that their culture. I love a man that's cultured. He understands this. He's partaking in a little bit of every culture. But the Lord said, no, I love a man that's of my bloodline, that's of my culture. That's what the Lord said. That's what the Lord wants. You understand? That's why he did this. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. He separated the sons of Adam. He never wanted us coming together. The Lord did this. He separated the sons of Adam. So who are we to defy that, to try to come together loving everybody? The Lord doesn't change. He didn't separate the sons of Adam and then, you know what, let me change my mind. No, that's stuff we do. The Lord don't do that. That's stuff of man. That's stuff of emotion. The Lord ain't no emotional punk. He makes a standard and he sticks to it, man. You understand? Outside Christ. So it says, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. What the Lord did was he separated the sons of Adam, and everything was separated according to the children of Israel getting their lot first. So what the Lord did was made sure that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they got their piece of the pie first. It was that simple. That's what the Lord did. That's how the Lord wanted it. And it ain't changed today. It's just we love following the oppressor. So we can't even begin to get our lot, because all we're going to do is give it right back to the oppressor. We're going to follow Martin Luther King. Integrate. Not loving our own. You understand? Hold on 1 second. Like, if you got any questions or comments, put them in the chat. Of course, we'd be more than happy to answer. All right, so let's get into this book. I promise y'all we're going to do that. Let's get into this book. We're getting into this, TikTok. So the first thing I want to kind of go into, again, this is the Willie Lynch letter in the making of a slave. The making of a slave. When it says making of a slave, there was already slaves. What he wanted to do was create the slave mentality. There was already slaves before Willie Lynch. But what America don't want you to know is a lot of the slaves were having uprisings. A lot of the slaves were having revolts. But then once they implemented the Willie Lynch method, the Willie Lynch mentality, that's when you start having slaves stand for the national anthem. That's when you start having slaves celebrate July 4th knowing they were still slaves. That's when you start getting that mentality. So the first thing we're going to go to is on page 7 of this book, page 7, and it reads, while Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers. So even this is how you understand what Christ was. Christ and Christ, the apostles, his followers, the Israelites in Rome at that time during Christ's time, they were all black. They were black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is how you know that, because look at what it said. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers, they were hanging people in great numbers using wood. Ain't that the same thing they did here in America? Tell me I'm wrong, TikTok. Tell me I'm wrong. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Most High Christ. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Of course, if you're online, got any questions or comments, put them in the chat. Almost done, y'all. Give me 1 second. Both sides of Christ. So it says, I'll read it again. Page 7 of the Willie Lynch letter. It reads, while Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasion. So that's how we was lynching people back in slavery days, but they did something very liking to that in Rome time. Why? Because it was the same people they were lynching. That's why he likened it to Rome. See, Rome did it like this. The same Negroes that you're lynching here in America, well, Rome hung those Negroes like this. He described essentially how they hung Christ. This is in the Bible. Acts, let me get. I'm gonna go to Acts. What do I want? 10. That what I want. I'm gonna go Acts 5 and 30. Acts 5 and 30 says, the God of our fathers raised up Jesus, who is Yahushua. Hold on. Acts 5 and 30. The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, who is Yahushua, whom ye slew, killed, and hung on a tree, hanged on a tree. See, that's the same thing he's talking about in this letter. That what we just read here in the Bible in Acts 5 and 30 is what Willie Lynch was describing in his letter. The same thing. So when he said, while Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers, Yahushua, Jesus Christ, was one of those bodies that they did that with. Acts 5 and 30, the God of our fathers raised up Yahushua, Jesus, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. He went through that. So I thought that was very interesting, because what this book is doing is letting you know the same slaves that Rome had is the same slaves you got today. So they knew a thing or two about how to get them slaves in order. You understand? So now we're on page 8. And it reads, reading down, it says, in my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. At least 300 years. Now, he's saying it's going to control them for 300 years. When was this written? I want to say this was written in 1712. 1712. So 1712, 1812, 1912, 2012. And guess what? In 2012, in 2023, this is still working. What he wrote is still working. We are still good, obedient slaves. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta call Willie Lynch a prophet on that one. He called that. because it ain't about to stop no time soon. When you read what he implanted and what he said it's going to do, the cause and effect, it's on the money of the black community. It's on the money. It's almost scary. So he said it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. So he says, I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. He says he used fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. Is that still not something that happens and is a plague in our community today? We fear the cops. Anytime they come around, we don't want nothing to do with them, man. We don't want nothing to do with them. You understand? We distrust ourselves. We'll trust a standard white guy before we think about trusting our own brother sometimes. Sometimes literally our own brother. This is still happening today. That distrust, he put that distrust in our minds, and it's plagued our communities to this day. And of course, the envy. Anytime a black man come up, he usually putting another one down. Or if a black man come up, somebody hating on this, that, and the third. Instead of building, and guess what? Instead of helping each other, and we all coming up in some way, shape, or form. That's how it should be. That's what it should be. You understand? Let's get some more in this. So it says, the black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, because that's what this is, the indoctrination. This is just another doctrine. And you know what the scripture says about that. Let me get that for you real quick. And of course, if anybody got any questions or comments, put them in the chat. This ain't the one I want, but this is a good one too. 2 John 1 and 10. The book of 2 John, chapter 1, verse 10. I'll give you a second to get there. So we have the book of 2 John, chapter 1, verse 10. Now remember, in this book, it said the black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on. 2 John 1:10 says this: if there come any unto you, that includes Willie, Lynch, or anybody else, and bring not this doctrine, meaning the doctrine of Christ, the doctrine of the Most High. You understand? The doctrine that the prophets has put before us. And bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him good speed. So as soon as anybody's coming to you bringing any other doctrine outside of this doctrine that we got here in the ISUPK, because that is the doctrine of God, the doctrine of Christ, not only should you not receive them, you shouldn't even bid them good speed. You shouldn't say, hey, man, you know what? I can't do it, but, man, hey, hopefully it works for you. No. You should say, hey, man, not only am I not going to do it, man, get up out my house and don't you ever think about coming over here with that crap again. That should be your spirit behind it. You understand? And then you go wherever you got to go with it after that. This is why we go so hard on Christianity. Christianity does nothing but support this. Christianity supports the Willie Lynch letter. I know in your head you don't realize that, and you think that's false. And I understand. But I promise you, Christianity supports the Willie Lynch letter. And we're going to prove it here tonight and next week. You understand? So, yeah. So I'm going to read 2 John 1 and 10 again. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him good speed. You understand? It's really that simple. If he ain't bringing you the doctrine of God, and how do you know if somebody's bringing you the doctrine of God? Precept upon precept, line upon line. They should be able to teach, prove, and show you in real life how this is the doctrine of God. That's what we do in ISUPK. We prove everything we teach. We prove everything we teach. So if a man bring you a doctrine and he can't prove it, but he tells you to just sit there and pray to God, this, that, and the third, it's very simple. That's the doctrine. You don't be at good speed. You don't even bring that doctrine into your house. You understand what he's telling you? Don't even bring that into your house. It's that simple, man. That's all it says. Give me 1 second. So like, there we go. Most high approach. So it says the black slave. We're back in here. We're back on this book, page 9. Back in this book, page 9. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Meaning this thing ain't gonna stop. Something powerful got to come up against this thing in order for it to stop. So he says, don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, the young black male against the old black male. You must use dark-skinned slaves versus light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slave against the dark-skinned slaves. That's where you get this colorism from. Colorism comes from this book. Light-skinned women hating on dark-skinned women comes from the Willie Lynch letter. Dark-skinned women hating on light-skinned women comes from the Willie Lynch letter. You understand? That's where this comes from. Comes from this book right here, man. There was a point in time we didn't hate on each other. Oh, she light skinned, she dark skinned. Oh, it's dark skin season. Oh, it's light skin season. There was never a thing amongst us. We understood that we came in all shades of brown. You understand? It's biblical. Let's get that. See, I be hating because a lot of the precepts that come to me, they come to me during class. The Lord just put them on me. That one, that what I want. Yeah, 1 second. I'll get it. But yeah, all that colorism stuff that came from that Willie Lynch letter. Before that, we weren't looking at colorism as a thing, man. That wasn't a thing in our community. You were light skinned, dark skinned. All we knew is you was a part of this struggle. All we knew is your ancestors came on them ships, or your ancestors had this land and they stole it from you. You understand? That's what it was. Let's see. It's like I can't find it right now. If anybody know the scripture I'm looking for, I'm paraphrasing. It talks about us coming in different shades of the earth, essentially. But what that scripture is saying, we come in all different shades of brown. In the earth, when you dig in the earth, you understand the deeper you go, the darker it gets. You understand? So we come in all different shades of brown. That's all it was saying. And if somebody wants me to get the scripture, I will take the time to get the scripture. But before they put light skin against dark skin and vice versa, that's what it was. We understood we came in all different shades of brown, and we didn't look at anybody as, they were better than or less than. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was. Now listen to this. You must use the female versus the male and the male versus the female. That's where you get that spirit of, I don't need a man. Not because you don't need one, but because you are being a good slave. When you say I'm proud and independent, you are being a good slave. God didn't teach you that. Willie Lynch taught you that. And he taught you that so you could tear down your community, so your children don't have their daddies, or our children don't have their mamas. When men say, man, I don't need a, you know what I'm saying? When you say that, guess what? That's not biblical. We were made, the Lord literally made us for each other. The Lord made us for each other. Yes, you do need a man, especially if you got kids. The kid is the sign that you need the man. That's what the kid is for. The Lord. This thing ain't hard. This ain't rocket science, man. So Willie Lynch taught females, hot girl summer, proud and independent. I don't need a man. I'm a queen. I'm this, that. That's Willie Lynch talk. Essentially, that's slave talk. All you're doing is showing you a good slave and you proud. That's all you're really saying. You're not saying nothing that benefits you or your community. It definitely don't benefit your children because most of them missing their daddies. Let's keep reading. So it reads, you must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. Part of it too. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. Meaning this. It goes back to what I said earlier. When a woman says she's proud and independent, what she's saying is she's independent of a black man. She doesn't need a black man. Excuse me. She doesn't need a black man because she trusts and depends on a white man. And some women gonna say, I got my own this, I got my own that, I got my own. Yeah, but you trust and depend on that white man to let you buy a car, to let you rent or own a home, to let you go. Trust and depend on that white man for that. You trust them that once you get this degree or this certification or whatever you get, you trust that you're going to go into their working field, you're going to go to their companies, you're going to get a decent paying job or career in their companies or in their businesses. You trust the white man. That's all you're saying. You're not proud and independent. Because guess what? Why do I say that? Because there's a white man somewhere that has the power to take any of that away, and you can't do nothing about it. Somewhere, some way, somehow, there's a white man that can say, give me that car, give me that home. I don't care about your degree. You know what? This job, you can't have it no more. There's a white man somewhere that can say that, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because all you're going to try to do is say, this is not fair. I'm going to court. And now you're trusting the white man's court or judicial system to give you that job back that the white man took. Now, you may or may not get the job back, but whose side do you think that white man's going to be on? It's going to be on his side. He's fighting for the home team. It's common sense. It's common sense, you understand? Let's keep going. So it says, but it's necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. See, what Willie Lynch did was essentially put a speed on the curses that happened to us in Deuteronomy 28. This is why this is a law class. Let's read some of these curses. You'll see what I mean. So, Deuteronomy 28 and 43, it says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very. Willie Lynch ensured that this, see, it already happened when Willie Lynch made this letter. But what he did was ensure that, all right, we got them now. So guess what? Now I'm going to ensure that we get up very high and they get down and stay very low. That's what Willie Lynch was about. That's what his letter was about to all the slave masters. He was teaching them how to not only make a slave, but to give the slave the mentality and to make sure that he stayed in that mentality, no matter what label America gives him. That's him and her. You understand? But what does the curse say? The curse says to the Israelites, there's going to come a day where a stranger, Willie Lynch and his kinfolk, Edomites, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Are we not in that position today? At one point in time, we owned and operated all of the land of America. Now we're at a point in time where even if we own it, we really don't own it because we still got to pay taxes to them. Anytime you're paying taxes to a people that rape, rob, and kill you, you really don't own it. They can create a law today and by later that night or the next day, they taking the land from you. It's really not hard. We're living this right now. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. That's all that's happening. So what the black woman is saying when she says she's proud and independent is she's saying, yeah, I'm the tail, but I'm no longer your tail, black man. I'm the tail to the white man. Because that's what God says is going to happen. It's already happening. When she don't understand, if you be the tail to that black man, that's the piece that fits. And now you can build something that can overcome what they've done to us. That's what the Lord wants. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to them. I don't know too many white people going to black people that's looking for loans. But I know a lot of black people that go to white people every day looking for a loan. And a lot of times you ain't getting it. It's biblical, man. This Willie Lynch thing was biblical. That's why it was so heavy, man. Let's keep going. What else we got to hear? Look. Now, this is all Willie Lynch happened because of this right here. Deuteronomy 28, verse 47. Because thou serve not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. See, we didn't want to serve the Lord the way the Lord said do it. That wasn't good enough for us. We got to be hard-headed. We got to try to put our own spin, our own swag. And we got to stop that, man. We got to come back to doing it the way the Lord wants. Or Willie Lynch is going to continue. There is no date, time, and set that this thing is over. It's not going to be over until we wake up and start doing what we're supposed to do. So that can be tomorrow, or that can be 1,000 years from now, or longer, or shorter, however. But it's on us. That's the point. It ain't that God can't send Christ back. Christ got to have something to come back to. And he ain't coming back to no African American. African American is disgusting. He'll come back to a Judite. You understand? A Gadite, a Manassite. He'll come back to all that. Yeah. But a Puerto Rican, so-called native people or, you know, an African American? No, no. Because you still have faith in America. You still trust in America. You still think Christ is in the churches on Sunday. You still think that the Easter bunny and what is that called? I forget. Easter. Yeah, Easter. You still think Easter is a thing. You still think Christmas is a thing. You understand? When the Bible proves it don't give him a date, but he definitely wasn't born in the dead of winter. When I say he, I mean Christ, Yahweh. You still think interracial marriage is okay. According to God, that's not okay. You got to accept it. You got to roll with it. Because the whole point is he wants you to love your own. Our nation of people find it the hardest to love their own. Understand? And it's all right. Willie Lynch has no problem with Willie Lynch love how things go. We making them a lot of money. So it says they must love, respect, and trust only us. We're at that point. Really only respect them. You understand? Look, how do we know we respect them? A gay white man come out with something called Gucci, Louis, or something like that, and guess what? Oh, that's that high class, high price stuff. Your brother in the hood come up with a clothing line, you trying to get a discount. You don't love or respect that brother, but you love or respect that white man that probably would lynch you if he still could. Just saying. Let's keep reading. So it says, gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensively for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Perpetually means forever. You ain't gonna have to teach it. They will teach to distrust themselves. And that's what happens today. When a woman says she's proud and independent, guess what she's teaching that little? She's teaching that little boy not to trust a black man. You don't want to be like your daddy, this, that, and the third. But make sure you be nice to master. You make sure you go to school and get good grades. Yes, sir. No, sir, him. But your daddy ain't. It's perpetual. When you say your daddy ain't, you're not saying that because you're this great intelligent woman. You're saying that because you are still a slave under the slave mentality. You understand? That's why you're saying it. It's biblical, man. Salaki, give me 1 second. Oh. Most High Christ. Target. All right, so we actually gonna end it there. Like I said, it's gonna be a part 2 next week. It's gonna be good. Lord be with you if you mix it. We're gonna get into some of these prayers. We're gonna end class like that. Again, if you got any questions or comments, put them in the chat. And so we will be going over it again next week. This book right here, it shows you everything that we live today. And that's because we are still in the slave mentality that this man created. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There we go. First, we're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shibashamayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malak, Aba'ah, Batazayak, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'rataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanlanau, Rakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakmanau, Kawawati Kasalakmanau, Kawawatia Wala'ah, Tabayana, Manasaya one, Abal, Hawashayana, Manyan, Rad, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapara, Ba'aiwalamya, Aman. So what we just said in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Next, we're going to do the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Vashem Yahweh, Babakushah, Nathalanau, Hakah, Pa'ah, Kal Maka'ala, Kal Madawa, Hakah, Batahar, Hamatazarya, Hakah, Hakim, Hamakim, Hakah, Arakwa, Hatama'ala, the Garish, Bashem Yahweh, the water. What we just read in English, the power. Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, power to cleanse the lepers, power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Next, we're going to do the blessings in the Hebrew. Barak Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Ma'aki Allah, Wa Allahayim, Matazabya, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyam, Ha Saranyam, Ha Quatizanyanyam, Ha Kolyalyogyam, Wa Ha Wapiam, Howard, Ba Shem Yahweh Shai. What amen. What we just said in English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahweh, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Most High in Christ. Next, we're going to read the anointing prayer, just in case, you know what I'm saying, anybody want to be prayed for. This is the anointing prayer in the Hebrew. Yabaraki Yahweh, Why Shamarka, Yahweh, Hanyaw, Allah Yaki, Alayaki, Wayakanka, Yasha'a, Yahau, Panyawa, Alayaki, Wayashamak, Wayashamlaka, Wayashamlaka, Shalom, Hau, Washem Yahawashah, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, Washem Yahawashah, for water, Aman. You know what? I'll put some names in it. I'll read it again. Yabarak Yahweh, Vayashmark, Ya'ar Yahweh, Panyawa, Alayaki, Wayakanka, Yasha'ah, Yahweh, Panyawa, Alayaki, Vayashamlak, Vayashamlaka, Shalom, Yahweh, Vashem Yahweh, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, Israel, the brothers and the sisters, you understand? My whole nation, ISUPK, you understand? My family, children, the city of Dayton, you know, Southern Ohio, by Shem Yahushua, the water Amen. What we just read in English. Yahweh, bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh, make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh, lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless, heal, shield, protect. Next, we're going to read curses. And we'll just read this in English. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to get to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, the militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitatus, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is, the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. One thing I did forget to do, and I'll do it now, is read security announcements. So we are the ISUPK, started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for the new brothers and sisters: when a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves in the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'ashara, 10% of every penny Any increase the Lord gives you, give to General Malaki Allah or a teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, September 15th. So make sure you're there. Who wants to be a trooper in the school? Start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, that's in the class. Shalom.